All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Silent Mike. We got Spencer Raxter. We have all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, except for Crazy Clown, who said he can't take me anymore and he's leaving. So rest in peace, Crazy Clown. We'll check back with you later. And then there's this angle. Sue you. I'm not a Goff hater. Just he should average 275 to 350 passing yards per game in this offense. So Sue you wants Jared Goff to throw for 5,950 yards per year. Right? Did I miss anything?
That's what he said. I think he's going to hit 5,000, but 6,000 is aggressive.
It's a little aggressive.
A little bit.
Seeing as it's never been done in history.
I like the confidence. You got an extra game. Maybe they'll give you an extra 1,000 yards.
Yeah. So, yeah, it definitely is out there. We have some Dan Campbell sound. This was from the presser yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Correct?
Yes, we do.
One of the hot topics, the defense. And D-Mac, I want to get your take on it because you got a fresh opinion, and you weren't here yesterday. I had an epiphany about the defense yesterday, and I want to hear Dan Campbell break it down specifically. Can we do the edges first?
Okay.
Because I want to hear him talk about the edges, because all I heard all day yesterday was 2 sacks isn't good enough. It can't work like that. But I want to hear what Dan Campbell had to say.
This was the vision the whole time. This is what we knew we were going to get when we got Davenport. And we felt really good about the production Hutch is bringing and brought last year and what he was going to be able to bring this year. And then just the thought of somebody who can crunch the can over there, man, crush the can and send him his way a little bit or vice versa. And that's what Davenport can do. He's long, he's physical, he's strong, he's a big man. And so that showed up today. You know, it showed up. We were able to hem him up a few times in there. And so it's good for him. It's going to be good for Hutch, and it's going to be good for Davenport.
And check, right? What was your take on it?
Yeah, no, to me what it seemed, right, and I saw that different. I mentioned it earlier about the secondary and just as a unit. I think this team gets better defensively as they have more time together. I like what I saw from Davenport, right, where the coach is talking about crushing the can or making it a couple. You know, the veteran that staff. You're playing one of the most tenured veterans in the NFL that's seen everything in Matthew Stafford that can allude. You know, he alluded a couple times where it looked like Hutch was there and stuff like that. I think they're going to get better. Right, the more time that they spend together, I liked what I saw. It was a lot more bend, don't break. I mean, how can to what they held, and I know they gave up 300 in the teens yardage, but he threw it 49 times
to get 300 yards.
No, I mean, to me in the past last year, 49 times attempted, and we saw it against the same team in the playoffs how Puka Nacua ran wild. They tried to, do it early. He got injured, stuff like this, but we adjusted. But I don't care what it is. Last year, we would have gave up 600 yards. I just feel that. It just felt different. It looked different
Spenny broke it down perfectly. You know why that was? The tackles were made. Except for one time, the tackle was always made.
And how good is that if the opening play, Anzalone stepping up and solid tackle is hopefully that's the telltale sign of what this year is going to be, right? So the fact is, right, Spenny nailed that. If we're making tackles, like NFL teams are going to make NFL plays, they're supposed to, right? Aaron Glenn's going against Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds. And so at the end of the day, what coach said, this is what the league is. This is what this division is, whatever else. At the end of the day, it's about winning games. And I saw, and you always want to get better, but I saw so much improvement from that last game last year. And it's more of a bend but don't break and put yourself in a position like other great teams do to take the ball and not only go down and tie the game, but win it and not give the other team an opportunity. I said yesterday, best play of the game was the coin toss in overtime.
It was.
I mean,
and Stafford was a bum.
Just saying.
Standing on the sidelines.
Just saying.
And he controlled it.
So it's exciting. It's exciting because what you saw in that opening game is exactly what we've been told right? As far as what is your number one unit, that's your offensive line.
That's
And
for
who
sure.
proved that, and what they did throughout the game set them. I asked Lomas Brown this yesterday. I was at Ted Lindsay Golf Outing. I said, Lomas, as a former offensive lineman, did the overtime David Montgomery just running dominance, was that set up late in the game, early in the game, whatever? And he said from play one, exacting the will. And then when you as an offensive line knows, it's like going out and playing against elementary school kids as a high school kid or something like that. You just know that you can push your will on it. And that, as we've talked about, as the game goes on, what makes that's your asset, your offensive line, your dominance. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a perfect game. They got things to improve on, but if we're sitting here, that's a team out of anything that I saw week one is a team that can win the Super Bowl.
And for me, D-Mac, like the further I get away from this game, the more I really like it. For real. And then you start digesting the stats, and I get to what I call the Spencer Raxter effect. Spenny, Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, 18 tackles.
Yep.
Combined. 14 of them solo. You were right, because I was a little bit tougher on Terrion Arnold than most people were. But he is everything that you said on that draft show that day. He is everything that you said. And I should have trusted the Spencer. I've broken film with you before,
yep.
i.e. sat and watched YouTube.
Yep.
We call it breaking film, though, because it sounds a lot cooler.
It does sound a lot better.
It does. I really like what I saw from him tackling. And you know what? We overvalue this. Like the Stafford thing with the 300-yard, we overvalue this passing game and coverage. Mm-hmm. We overvalue lockdown cover. The offense knows where they're going. You don't. So at a baseline, you're at a disadvantage. You know what this is? People say like it's a passing league or stuff like that. It's a tackling league. Mm-hmm. If you tackle, you win. And the Lions tackled at an elite level. And D-Mac, I'm kind of tying this into what you said right now. They are 1,000,000% improved defensively because the missed tackle is akin to a turnover in this game. It is. It's in that family. If you miss tackles, that's what flips games.
Which just clicked on me. What was the whole thing? Let's go to Alex Anzalone, right? Like, has speed, but we running by tackles all the time, miss whatever. And he planted that first one of the year. Plus, he went out and had 11 solo. Look at the solo tackles. Right? That tells everything. Mm-hmm. Right? And the trust. And somebody said in the chat thread where it was Brian Branch that missed a few tackles. And when he comes back in the dressing room, the accountability to each other, paraphrasing the quote is that, I won't miss those anymore. Right? Which is improving. I was built, Scotty Bowman, is you're allowed to make that mistake. Don't make it again. So that's something to watch out for is Brian Branch. His tackling getting better because he's got to be accountable to the rest of those guys. That's the beauty. The beauty is you got Davis and you got Arnold in there, and then stat sheets telling like we're doing it, bro. And it's gonna force him to be better. They're gonna force each other to be better.
Yeah, I saw Brian Branch miss at least 3 tackles. He had the dropped interception. He had a bad game.
Yeah,
and that's what impressed me the most about the defense. You have a guy who is arguably the second best player on your defense have the worst game of his career, and you still go out there and you put up a good defensive performance. And like you said, the cornerbacks of the Detroit Lions had Sean McVay scared because they are sticky in man coverage and off the line. So if he tried to do what he wanted to do without putting Cooper Kupp in so much motion, Stafford would have been dead because the pass rush was getting to him. He motioned more than he has in any game in his career except for one. Cooper Kupp was running all during pre-snap so he could get off the line free and hit on those short
and
1-2 yard routes.
And all that for 8 yards a catch.
Yep. They made him work. And Cooper Kupp's going to get his. He's one of the best route runners in the NFL. He's got some of the best hands in the NFL. But they're keeping him in front of him, hitting him off the line, so he had to be running pre-snap and getting this to Stafford so they couldn't set up these late-breaking routes.
You know what is imperative to me? Carlton Davis is that dude.
Yes.
He's that, right, give me the smoke, and he wants it, and he wanted all of it. And he's a big dude. Like, he's there. You know, how many times we in the past are we used to having a DB, not just, and it's not size, but just a little bit, oh, man, he was so close, or his hand was so close. And then what is he got, Carlton Davis? He's in that lane. He's there. Like, there's something that I watched and went, this is different than what I've seen in the past. Even from our lockdown guy, because Spenny brings it up. It's the physicality.
Dante 151. I wore my Terry and Arnold jersey that I won in a drawing from the Morning Woo crew. Shout out, Dante 151.
Can I ask a quick question? Right?
Sure, show, yeah.
So Spenny, to that point, right? I think it's imperative we would take a look. Does Tampa Bay, right? We know Tampa's got Mike Evans and Godwin, but do they have that personnel to use that motion?
Baker Mayfield might die next week.
That my point being, right, is that Baker's not as elusive as, and Stafford's not like the most elusive guy, but he's smart. And I'm not saying Baker's not smart, but Baker can think about where he wants to go, but I don't know if he'll be able to do that. I think the real test to what we're talking about, Davenport, DJ Reader even being in there, Ali, you know, you look at Aleem and you look at the way that, you know, the line did, that you're right. This could be a feast.
It's Cooper Kupp literally ran over 400 yards of pre-snap motion against the Lions. You're not doing that with Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a deep breaking route guy. You could do it with Chris Godwin a little bit, but Chris Godwin even isn't what Cooper Kupp is. So having Cooper Kupp run 400 yards before the ball is snapped, just so you can get him open so the pass rush doesn't get home. The Bucs offensive line is better than what we saw against the Rams for sure, but they're not going to have the freedom to be able to move him around like that.
No, and that's really what it is to it. And I like this matchup a lot for the Lions this weekend. You guys hear me talk about this, and we'll get into it too, like as the week goes on. But this DMAC is the old-fashioned spot play. This is a spot. Baker Mayfield coming off a 4-touchdown performance where they dominated Washington, and he's proven there's always a yang to the yin with Baker Mayfield.
Can I do my parlay real quick? I just thought of.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing Baker Mayfield interception, Kirby Joseph I'll do Kirby Joseph again to get an interception. Jamison Williams over in yards. Jamison Williams anytime touchdown. Rashad White under yards. Under. I don't care if his over-under is set at 30. You take the under on that. DJ Reader's going to be back, and that defensive line shut down Kyron Williams. Rashad White's going to get nothing.
Nice fat little payday on that, I'm sure, right?
It'll be pretty nice.